Hey everyone, this is Adam. This is my 73 Plymouth Duster. I was just going to show you a little audio setup that I figured out with the help of some guys there at moparts.com. Thanks a lot, appreciate that. What I wanted to do was hook up a iPod in the car and a kind of a full stereo, although it's only 2 speakers, without taking away my AM unit here, which is factory. It works. I do have a RediRad hooked up to it in case you want to hear the original AM sound through the speakers off your iPod, and I have that little plug-in right here, and you hook your iPod up to that, and in fact I'll show you that one. It's pretty neat if you want that vintage AM sound. And you want kind of a cool thing to do here. It works pretty good. Let's put the key in there, and I got it behind the dash in here. It's kind of screwed into the AC box. I just use one of the screws that are already in there. But what I'll do is turn the ignition on, turn the radio on. You can probably hear it there. And on that RediRad, you want to put it on AM 10, and your iPod actually activates it. So once you plug it in and turn it on, you can hear something going on there. Let's see. When you hit play, that starts it. And I gotta get on 10. If you have it on here, and I pull that out, it'll actually revert back to the antenna out there, because it's hooked into the antenna and it cuts it off when it detects that iPod is on. And so you don't get any interference in there. It just clicked off, and I can go back to a local station here near Louisville, Kentucky.
From the entertainment, fine dining, and shopping of downtown Louisville.
Like that. You turn it off. Now my other setup, since I wanted, occasionally you'll want a stereo sound. So I think, what are you going to do with that? How do you leave this in here? How do you avoid putting a radio in here? I don't want to put a radio in there. I don't want a remote and all that stuff. I want it to, not get in the way. I might want to put something in there. I don't have a console, so I might need to use that. So, what do? Well, the good people at Moparts suggested you can hook your iPod up, but you'll need an amplifier. And I'm thinking, well, I have an old amplifier. It's an 80 watt Pioneer that I used years ago in a full stereo setup. And so I got it out, and what I did, I pulled this seat out last weekend, and of course with everything out, I ran a pair of speaker wires along here, in the obvious place, and I have the fold down seat, and they go back there, and I put some speakers in. But right here, kind of see it there. You see the red light on there? That's the amplifier. I put it right here under the seat, and it's probably from here to here and about that wide. It's a 2-channel, and basically what you do, you install that, and the cord I got here, it's a headphone jack on this end. It'll go into the iPod, but on the end that goes into the amplifier, it's a pair of RCA cables. And I bought that. It's a 3-foot. It's a 3-foot cord, and I bought it at a Meijer. You can get it at Walmart, pretty much anywhere. And it just plugs into one side. The 2 cables, the red and white, comes out here, and it's simple as well. Make sure the key's on. Plug it in there. Now I'll have the stereo come from the back this time. It won't use the speaker up here. It'll use the 2 that I installed in the back. course, it's wired into the ignition as well off the amp, so there it is. Very simple. Uh, and somebody suggested you kind of lose some EQ response on from like you would have in a deck, but I mean, I noticed on this iPod here, I'm sure they all have. This is an older Nano. You can go down to your settings and go to EQ and adjust, the various bass and all that. I think that one's set on electronic, and it has a very kind of full sound. Um, so that worked really nice for me because I don't want to take all that out. I want it to look original. I don't like, this dash is, kind of 60s design, so you don't want to tear all this out just to have a stereo, because I've had cars like that before with an Alpine in here and all this digital, and it sounded great, but it didn't look right. So that's my little setup with the iPod and all. And as far as wires, you only see that wire coming out of the dash, like the ashtray, and then the one under the seat, and they're just little black cords. And the only other wires you'll notice is my amplifier wiring, which is kind of a smaller wire since you don't need that much, and it's got the fuse on it. And I got it running into that plug underneath the kind of the brake pedal assembly. And that's all you see besides the actual speakers. And I notice, or you may notice rather, that I have newer speaker grills on there. I'm trying to find some vintage ones to just complete the look of the car, because I have this vintage look going on here with this stripe and that I custom painted, and the Kragers and the stickers and all that stuff. So hopefully this helps somebody out that might have been thinking about putting in a stereo without wanting to hack everything up. And you have your tunes, and of course I'm kind of nostalgic retro, so I like if I want to play it off the AM side, then I can. If I want to play it back here in stereo or listen to the LP cuts, I can hear them in stereo and it'll sound good. And I'm pretty happy with that. So I think I'm done with my stereo. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks a lot.